Hello and welcome back to TF1C, the Formula 1 chat, where today we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic, and that topic is whether Daniel Ricciardo will ever win a Formula 1 World Drivers' Championship. Now, he's never been a championship fighter, really. He's always been he's been competitive, always been able to pick up wins and get podiums and stuff in whatever car he's driving over the last decade, but he's never really been in a championship fight, and it's mainly because the last era has been dominated by Mercedes, and Red Bull are just a little bit off. If not, he would have been in pole position to take a world championship over the last 10 years. I do think he is running a bit out of time. Obviously, Red Bull, he was there till about 2018, something like that he then left for Renault. Realistically, obviously Renault was kind of a long-term project. Maybe they'd be able to fight for world championships in 5 years. That's evidently not the case, but he was able to drag that Renault very much higher than I reckon it should have been, because he was able to get podiums, and he was massively outperforming his teammate Esteban Ocon. And now at McLaren, obviously the last season didn't go to plan.
No, he took a lot of time to get used to the car
adjust to
the McLaren.
The difference of it, yeah.
He was miles off Lando Norris. He did better towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
But by that point, he was already miles down the championship, much lower than you'd expect that McLaren to be. And he was miles off Lando all year.
He did pick up that win, though, which I think is big crucial point, because it's shown that if he can get the car into that position, he has the ability and the experience to guide it home from that position. And obviously he had his teammate in P2, and then Max and Lewis took each other out, but I think even without the Max and Lewis incident, Ricciardo would have held on for the win. Maybe they wouldn't have got a 1-2, but I think he would have held on. I do think experience could be a big part to play going into 2022, because with the regulation shake-up, realistically, McLaren could come out on top. It's not unfathomable.
Yeah.
You'd imagine someone else would be the fastest car. I can't put up with another decade of Mercedes. I mean, I know it will only be till 2025, and then we get all the engine regulations, the huge changes there, but I think McLaren or Ferrari or Red Bull will be one of the quickest cars. I mean, we could see a Haas right at the front, so it's impossible to judge as of right now who's going to be at the front and who's going to be at the back. But McLaren's one of the front runners, I think, to be up there for next season.
Ricciardo, if that McLaren is the fastest, or is one of the fastest, I think Ricciardo's got a really good shot, because he showed in Monza, as you said, the experience to get the better start than Verstappen, win the sprint race, put himself on pole, and then he led that race from start to finish. I think, well, apart from like pit stops and stuff, he led that race from start to finish, kept good pace, experience, didn't let the safety car interrupt his rhythm or anything, and he won that race, and they brought home a 1-2. I think that's huge as a team as well.
They're the only team to do that. Red Bull, Mercedes didn't pick up a single 1-2.
I think what helps him, he has got Lando Norris, a young, very quick driver alongside him. And I think if that car is good, those two work together, and they're both pretty quick in that car, they could really launch a drivers and constructors challenge.
Yeah, and if McLaren was to be quickest, I think Ricciardo is more likely to win a world championship than Lando Norris. I mean, Lando demonstrated in Russia how experience can have a huge...
That's the difference.
Make a huge difference, because he didn't pit. And that cost him a race win.
He didn't listen to his team.
Whereas Lewis, obviously, incredibly experienced, did listen to guidance, pitted, and was better off for it.
And the thing is, and you look at decisions like that, because say if he was in the title fight, he lost 26 points there. Whereas if you're experienced, even if you pit and you don't win the race, you still get a second, which then would mean obviously in the long term of a title
he gambled, he didn't want to pit. Yeah. That's that. But I think overall Daniel Ricciardo's experience would help him. It just depends on how quickly Norris would adapt to a title fight. Because you look at Max Verstappen, and he'd never been in a title fight before this season, but he quickly adapted.
Yeah.
I think it was always very much within him for a title fight. He knew what it would take.
And he was up to and especially he
Up to the challenge.
this season he raced against the very best.
I think if it is just between Lando and Ricciardo, I think Ricciardo could win it. I think Ricciardo would win it. I don't know. I like Lando. I think he'd be very quick. I think he'd take Ricciardo to the end. But I don't know if he's quite got enough experience in that. But if there is another factor, if a Red Bull Ferrari is also well up there, I don't see Ricciardo. Well, it depends who it is. Ferrari maybe, because neither
I'm not sure if Ferrari. I just don't.
Leclerc or Sainz have been up there. If Red Bulls or Merc are up there, though, I just don't think Ricciardo's got what it takes to beat Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton on pace in a championship fight. Like, unless Max and Lewis are too distracted by each other that they keep crashing into each other. But I just don't see it being that
every time they
ridiculous.
collided, Saudi, Saudi had a massive battle.
Silverstone,
Monza,
even Imola as well, bouncing over the curves.
Yeah, that's no one else is there to take advantage of that. When people
it was a different person every race.
Yeah, it's different. So everyone's getting. Whereas, like, when they were messing around in Saudi, those two are so far ahead that no one else could jump in there. Because if there's either say the McLaren was the quickest car, Ricciardo or someone like that would have just zoomed past and he'd have won the race.
Yeah.
But if it is close, next year is really close, and Verstappen and Hamilton do keep crashing into each other and messing around, then you'd like to think this year there would be people there to sweep up the scraps and take the wins and the seconds from them.
I'd love to see Ricciardo win a World Championship. I think he deserves it. If he didn't win, I think he would be the best driver to never win a World Championship. I think it's close with the likes of Massa, but then I think he deserved 07. And I think most people do. Was it 07, 08, whichever one of them was the dramatic.
Ricciardo is an
Lewis
incredible driver, and he is probably one of the best to now win the World Championship.
Yeah.
But then he's never really been in the fight for a championship.
No, but I think that is a lot to do with the Merc dominance over the turbo hybrid era. I think if he'd been born 2 years earlier and he was in Mark Webber's seat alongside Vettel, maybe he'd have given Vettel a good challenge. But unfortunately for him, he kind of joined Red Bull as Merc became dominant. So, very unfortunate.
Webber never won a championship, did he?
No, Mark Webber.
He's another one up there as well. Webber, Ricciardo, Massa, Barrichello. Yes, there are quite a few.
Yeah, Rubens Barrichello.
I just don't think
second fiddle to literally everyone.
The only thing that says to me that Ricciardo isn't is obviously he's never. He's. That's the thing. That's the thing that it's not even like some of them haven't really been in a championship fight to win it, because they've always been like Ricciardo at Red Bull was. I mean, he had he was alongside Max Verstappen for most of it, which, he was the next best thing. He was always Red Bull number one because they knew they had the next 10, 15 years of him. So he kind of...
his teammates were Vettel, then it was Kvyat, then Max, and then he left for Renault.
And Renault...
Where he had Ocon...
Hülkenberg. And then McLaren is with Lando Norris. So he's kind of always been the second driver. He's kind of the older, experienced driver.
I think Renault he was first, definitely.
Over
Red Bull, well, he was first until Max, but then it was almost like Max came in and it did take him like a year or two, but then eventually they were like, this is our golden boy, he's number one.
Ricciardo's always been kind of that experienced, kind of older driver that may not be the quickest driver, but he's got the experience and the racecraft to pick up podiums, pick up race wins. Renault with obviously Ocon, especially last 2021, kind of it was a bit mixed up because of COVID. McLaren, he's with Lando, Red Bull, he's with Max. He's kind of there to also help the younger drivers, I guess.
Agreed, yeah. Would you say that 2022 is his last chance at World Championship?
Yes,
You reckon?
I do. Because I think, as obviously, our 2023 drive predictions were
Did
out
just
by
go
now.
out where I said he would go to Mercedes. Now, we don't know who will be quickest in 2022. We certainly don't know who will be quickest, therefore, in 2023. But I don't think 2022 is his last chance.
I
Because
think he might have 2023 if he does. Obviously, if he does go to Merc.
I think he could go Merc. I think if he show enough promise in the McLaren, he could go back to Red Bull.
That'd be incredible.
That would be amazing.
I think he's got this.
I don't think if he goes to Red Bull, I don't think he'll win the World Championship. If he replaces Lewis Hamilton and Merc, I think he will in 2023. This year, it very much depends on how quick the McLaren is. But if it is the quickest car, then I would be placing my bets on Daniel Ricciardo to win the World Championship.
Yeah, I think it'll be very tough.
I just don't know if it will be.
Yeah,
Because I think it's going to go one of two ways from McLaren. They're either going to be right up there, or I think they could drop. Which is, I don't think, there's no one really talking about it, but it is possible for McLaren to take a step backwards.
And the next year they step right
it's
back
not,
up, maybe.
People talking about like Williams flying up, but McLaren could drop.
Mm-hmm. Especially if other teams are doing better. Well, it may not be a case of them dropping themselves. It might be that everyone else has done.
Because a lot of people think Ferrari will be contenders for the World Championship, maybe even the favourites.
I think that partnership of Leclerc and Sainz the next 4 or 5 years will be very good.
In my opinion, though, I think the Red Bull will be quickest next season.
Yeah.
But we'll discuss next season further in our 2022
I think
predictions coming out in the next 2 weeks.
I think Ricciardo's probably got 2 years, 3 years to win a world championship.
Yeah, I think he'll retire in about 2025.
Maybe, yeah, 20,
something like that.
25.
But I think that's kind of then gives him a 3 or 4 year gap to win a world championship. I certainly don't think he'll be in a top team come 2025. Because he'll be 36, 7, something like that.
Or he'll stay until 2026, and because one team might want him to do the engine regs, the first year of the engine regs.
Well, I could see him jumping down to like a Williams or something like that.
He could go to like 2024 or 5 and then go hop in Formula E or something.
I don't think there's the interest
Imagine
there for
that.
Ricciardo.
That'd
I think
be
he's more likely to go to doing like Le Mans
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
because
Then
Formula E
Formula E.
isn't like a retirement home. It's kind of.
Well, it can be Massa. Massa headed over there. I think it gives drivers that aren't quite good enough for F1 a career.
It's
it gives
more
young
of a-
drivers somewhere to go if they can't quite get into F1, and it gives old F1 drivers somewhere to go if they get booted out, like Gio, like Massa, like Wehrlein, like Stoffel,
who's got booted out.
Verne.
And then feel like De Vries and Tickton were kind of the youngsters that didn't quite make it.
Aren't quite good. The thing is, though, De Vries was a world champion.
Yeah.
Yes, it took him 3 years, but
Nick De
still,
Vries,
Tickton didn't win the world championship, so it's a bit more.
Anyway, we've kind of gone away from Daniel.
A huge
Ricciardo.
tangent, but yeah, I think Daniel Ricciardo has what it takes to win a world championship. Whether or not that car will be
It's down to the
quick
McLaren.
enough.
I think it's down to the McLaren.
Yeah, I think if the McLaren is the second or third fastest, then Ricciardo will have a chance, but I don't personally think he'll win it over.
Even if it isn't the fastest,
Over
I
Max
still
Verstappen.
think he'll be a lot closer to Lando Norris, and he'll still be competitive for podiums and top fives and points. Because last season he was down 13th, 14th.
I think both McLaren boys will get a win in 2022.
Yeah.
I think Carlos will get his first win as well. So I'm really hoping it's ultra competitive.
Remember, guys, whoever doubted Daniel Ricciardo, he's back.
Yeah. Or maybe the Alfa Romeo will be quickest, and then Bottas can just say, "To whom it may concern, have that."
Yeah, everyone's 82.
But yeah, that's about all for
everything.
this video. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and comment. If you are new, which is likely since we're quite a new channel, then make sure to subscribe. Comment below. We love interacting with new fans. Yeah, make sure to subscribe. Join the community. We're pushing. What should we go for this year? I just started. I'd be happy with 200-ish coming into the year. maybe more. Who knows where it's going to go? But yeah, let's see what we could do. It's a new channel. Obviously, if you are new to TF1C, make sure to check out TFC as well, our other channel. Link in the description below. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.